Hello, hello, hello. This is Kathy Bedell, mystampandspot.com, coming to you today with Thankful Thursday. So I had a group here of ladies yesterday, and they all have purchased the Pansy patch stamp set and the Pansy patch dies. And there were some questions about building some of the dies, so I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to go over that today. So as you can see, I cut out some maps and pieces, and we'll talk about it. But we are going to use, this is going away. It's the sheer ribbon in the gorgeous grape color. I love this ribbon, and I'm so sad to be seeing it go. And I will tell you, in the new catalog, aside from the Fresh Freesia lighter color, we have no dark purple. So now's the time to stock up on it if you need a dark purple. Hey, Karen, how are you? Gorgeous grape ink I'm going to use today. I know you've seen them many times, so I didn't bother to bring the dies over, but I pre-cut a scallop contour die. I have a package of pansy seeds. I have my pansy patch stamp set and my dies, which I keep inside. And I have Happy and Heartfelt. And I brought over some Highland Heather. I also brought over this fabulous little punch. It's called the Detailed Trio Punch, and it's on the retiring list for $12. If you don't have this, I wanted to point this out. Sometimes I'm very late to the party. This is one of the items that I was very late to the party on. I have owned it a long time, but I have not utilized it enough. You can see here, it corner rounds on one side. It makes this little like fleur-de-lis image on the other, and then it makes like a regular basic hole punch on the other. So consider that. It's very useful. All right, the first thing I want to show you is that some of the dies are just basic outlines of leaves. There's a small pansy and a big pansy. If you have the DSP, or if you intend to actually stamp the images, these will cut out the big pieces. These are not the detailed pieces that we're going to be using today. So if you use the DSP, these match the DSP images, as does the leaves. Now the DSP is going away, so stock up on that as well. If you are going to actually stamp your pansies, which maybe I'll do a video another day on stamping these images, you'd use these bigger dies to cut out the shapes. All right, now that I've said that, that's a card I made previously. Let's talk about this. I don't know if you can see, this is white. I went off the colors of this pansy packet. I decided to do purples and the darker greens. So you're going to cut out one of this big white shape, and it has like an embossing on it. You're going to cut out one of the perimeter face. You're going to cut out two of these leaves. Again, this has like an embossed petal effect. You're going to cut out two of this edging. This is for the darker color around the outside, which is going to kind of go like this when all is said and done. One of the center, the little face, and you can cut out three of, these are almost teardrop shape. They're not quite round. They're a little different than round. You're going to cut out one. I'm going to start with that. This is to make a bud. You'll cut out one. Again, this is kind of embossed. That's going to be like the outer petals. One of the inner petals, so you can see I did them in different colors, and one of the stem. Hey, Adrian, how are you? Let me move this over a little bit here so I can get everything in the picture. I don't know if these leaves are going to quite make the picture, but, oh, there we go. So we're going to layer the pieces of the leaves. So I chose Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather, and this is Evening Evergreen and Mint Macaron. Normally, I think I would have used more of a garden green color, but like I said, I was trying to go more off of this packet of seeds. Okay? So let's build some flowers. Hey, Pam, how are you? Good to see you. I'm going to sit down. If you want to take a screenshot of this so that you know, go ahead, feel free. And I'll leave it there for 1 second if you want to take a screenshot. And then here's the leaves and the bud. Okay. All right. I'm going to put my dies away, and we are going to build these flowers, just because I don't want my dies to get lost on my desk while we're doing all this, as only I can do. Then we're going to get a little messy with white glue. I find it easiest to use the Tombow liquid glue. So that's what we're going to use here. Okay. If you comment, I won't be able to see what you're saying quite yet. Okay? I'll peek after. All right. I'm hoping that I have enough glue on this to, sometimes, oh, yep. You know how sometimes the white glue, it gets a little clogged up? I wanted to make sure mine wasn't clogged today. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and by the way, if you assemble on the silicone mat, then no glue, the glue just peels right off this. It doesn't get stuck on it. So I'm not going to apply a lot of glue, just a little bit. You don't want to be like the kindergartner that has so much glue going that it makes a complete mess. Like that. And I'm going to apply, this is the inner face. Well, I guess it's not the face, but it's the inner part of the flower. And we're going to take these petals. Now, let me see which way these go, because they definitely have a right and a wrong way. So they are, the way they cut, yeah, there we go. The way they cut, they're not embossed like the Highland Heather pieces are that I did, the bigger petals. The edging's not embossed, but the die cut kind of forces the paper down on the edge, so you want the edging to be down a little bit. And I'm going to put this together like that. And same thing with this one. We're going to put this one together. I'm going to stand up and make sure I'm in frame. Am I in frame? Oh, good, I am. Hey, Carolyn, how are you? Well, now you will see how to... how you'll put this together. And you know what? I told you guys to take a screenshot, but I'll tell you what. I will cut another set and post pictures on my website and on this page. Okay. Now, we're going to take this purple. And same thing with this. There's, I don't know if you can really see it. If you flip it over, it has more of a rough edge the way the die cuts it. So I am going to put just a little bit of glue. Yeah, on this. You could probably put this on a dimensional as well, although you kind of want the little tab pieces up here to meet really well. And if you put it on a dimensional, it may not look quite as good. I'm not certain. I haven't done it. Like that. I actually got this purple rim on just a little bit crooked, but my glue's still wet, so I can kind of manipulate it. Excuse me. Okay, now I need my pick-me-up tool. Why do I need my pick-me-up tool? Because I need to pick up this yellow center. And I'm going to put a dab of glue on it. And... whoa. That's okay. This is why I like working on the silicone mat. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the point of my scissors. Let me see which way this goes. So I'm going to put kind of the point of the teardrop down. Hope my head's not getting in the way here. And I'm going to use my scissors as kind of a surgical tool to help me get it off my pick-me-up tool. If you don't have one of these, add that to your list. Okay. There we have the basis for our flower. Like that. I'm not going to assemble that quite yet, but that's, you're getting the gist, right? All right, now I'm going to assemble these because I want them to dry a little bit. Now the leaves too have some veining on them. So we are just going to put well, I can't use glue dot. You can use a glue dot. I just like the liquid glue in this case. If you don't get it quite where you want it, you can manipulate it. You can't really manipulate a glue dot if you don't get it exactly where you want it the first time. So that's why I suggest the liquid glue. Because, you know, these do have, see, it's not lined up the way I want right now. So with the liquid glue, I can kind of manipulate it and move it a little bit. Although I do use glue dots a lot. Oh, this piece didn't poke out. There we go. So again, this is Evening Evergreen, and it is on mint macaron for this particular leaf. I have used the garden green before. The Evening Evergreen and the soft succulent would be really pretty. I just was trying to highlight some of these lighter colors in this envelope, which is why I did that. Okay, now we're going to build our little bud over here. So, again, this has a embossed texture to it. And there is a kind of a right way and a wrong way. See how this lip is coming down? You want that to be on the bottom as opposed to up, because the head is tipping. Well, I can see it better here on the white. The bud head is tipping down. So you want that more exaggerated angle there to be on the bottom. And the same thing with this piece. You want this longer edge to be on the bottom. So I'm going to use the Tombow and just add a little bit. We don't need a lot. And like that. Whoa, came apart. We need it to just sit for a second, I guess. Going to use that. Okay, and then this piece is going to go on here. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to this. And I don't want to get it all the way up here on the stem because the flower is not going to be up there. I just want it to be on the leaf part. And we're going to put it like that. I'm going to let that sit for a minute to dry. I'm going to move my, oh no, I'm not going to move my mat because I want to put these petals on the back. Now, I'm going to sit down again so I don't see you if you comment for a minute. Now, you could do this a few different ways. You could leave it much more open like this to make a bigger flower. I prefer to bring it in a little, to overlap it in just a bit. I have glue on my fingers so they kind of stick into the, like that. But again, it's a personal preference, okay? So you do you. That to me is just a little bit, well, actually, that's not bad, is it? Maybe I'll go with that. Now, we could do glue dots here, which would make it a little more three-dimensional, not quite as three-dimensional as a dimensional, but it would raise it just a tiny bit. I'm going to keep it flat because this package I'm working with is going to have so many layers and so much dimension going on that I want the flower kind of a little flatter. So I'm actually going to leave those leaves right where they are, like that, because I actually like the way that they had set up. And I am going to add a bunch of glue to this flower. And I'm going to place her there, like that. I'm just going to put that on there for a second. Okay, now we just have to add some leaves. Now, you could add 2 leaves to one side, like so. You could add a leaf to each side, like so. I think I am going to add, thank you, Adrian, for sharing the post, the 2 leaves to this side, and then I'm going to have this little guy come out behind it like this. For balance, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so again, I am choosing to use glue on this, not dimensionals. And I'm putting the smaller leaf on the top and the bigger leaf on the bottom. And I'm just going to flip it over so I can see exactly where I want it to go, like that. And I'm not going to add this until I am actually on where it's going, the piece that it's going to go on. So I'm going to sit these up here to dry for just a minute, close up my glue, and let's talk about the dimensions of the seed packet that we have going. Okay. So I have my handy dandy cutter. I have a piece of Highland Heather. And I am going to cut this at 3 3/4. Now, why 3 3/4? Because I literally measured this. And this measures, I don't know, about 3 and 1, 2, 3, about 3 3/8, but I need it just a little wider so I can adhere it closed. So that's how I got the 3 3/4. And then I did 7. And again, why 7? Because I was figuring out how I wanted this to fit in and how much I wanted to fold up. So I'm working off of my specific seed packet, which let me give you the measurement to my seed packet so that if you want to create this at home, you make sure you get the same size seed packet. These are pretty standard, these seed packets, when you find them at, like, you know, your Home Depot or Lowe's, or even grocery stores carry them sometimes. So this is 3 1/4 wide by 4 1/2 long. So if you find a seed packet roughly 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, this template will work. And I'm going to score this at 2 1/2 inches. Oh, I just cut it. I need to cut that again. I cut it instead of scoring it. Do you often do that? I do it a lot. I'm ashamed to say, because I'm not paying attention over here. Okay, 3 1/2, 3 3/4 by 7. And then I'm going to score at 2 1/2 inches. Score, not cut. Okay. There we go. That's my basic envelope that I'm making. That's where this little $12 punch comes into effect. Now again, this is retiring, so don't wait on it. I'm pushing the, I don't know if you can see, there's guides on either side. I'm pushing the paper right into the guides, making sure it's tight, and then just pushing. And I'm going to do all 4 corners because I think it will give it a nice finished edge when all is said and done. Okay? All right, let me put the punch aside. Now, I am only going to use the littlest bit of glue along the 2 outside edges. And I want to keep it nice and close so that my seed packet fits in there well. Like this. Now, I'm also going to tie it, so technically you don't have to glue it. Hopefully I made that wide enough. We're going to find out. Yep, just barely. And I am going to take a piece of that gorgeous grape ribbon, whatever I did with it, and I am going to, let me put the cover on this. I am going to just wrap it around, and I'm not even going to tie a bow. I'm going to tie a square knot. Okay, so left over right, pull it through, right over left, whoop, pull it through, and then the important part is pull the tails in the direction you want them to go. And that's how you'll get a decent little knot piece. So if you're nervous that you don't have enough space for your packet to go in there, you can simply tie it and just throw a glue dot underneath the bottom and the back or something like that. Okay, now my contour die piece is going to come in. It's going to sit like this, and we are going to build the pansy on it. I think I'm going to move this over a little bit. This little knot. I must have got glue on the back of this piece of paper, this piece of cardstock, because I'm having a little trouble. There we go. All right, I didn't pre-make this, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to fit, but we are going to find out. I think like this. And I want to put a little thanks in there. I brought over the Happy and Heartfelt because it has a cute little scripty thank you. So I'm going to try to get that on here if I can. Let's see where that will go. My block is filthy, so don't mind me. I didn't wash it. Let's see. Well, let's see if it's going to fit here. Yeah, right down there is where I'm going to put it, way down the bottom. Okay, hopefully we're going to get this straight. I'm going to stamp on a piece of scrap to make sure I kind of know how to get it straight. That's pretty good. If you saw my video the other day, you know don't just push from the center. Push all around to get those colors mixed up. Okay, here we go. Praying this is straight. Not too bad. Not perfect, but I'll take it. All right, what I'm going to do is add glue to the bottom part. And I'm going to tuck it in this ribbon. And I'm going to be very careful with that glue. And I kind of want to center it to the size of the whole packet. Like that, okay? All right, now I need some dimensionals. And I am going to add a couple dimensionals to the back of my pansy. And if you want to be extra certain that it stays nice and secure, overlap any of the overlapping pieces, because that will really help to make sure it all stays nice and tight. And there's so many components to this, and it's not going to be laying perfectly flat. That's why you see me using way more dimensionals than I normally do. These dimensionals are stubborn today. Okay, I'm going to kind of tuck it off to the side a little. Maybe I'll even tilt it a little bit. Like that. I want a nicer angle on this cut. My mother taught me to always cut the ends of your ribbon at an angle. So it's kind of always in my head. All right, and then I'm going to pop this guy up here like that. But I am going to put him on a dimensional. Like so. And I am not going to worry about gluing the tail down, quite honestly, because once the dimensional's down, it's not going to go anywhere. Like that. Where's my seed packet? Now this makes a nice little thank you. Teacher, person at the coffee shop, really just about anything. I am going to add, we could add some little rhinestones, but I'm going to make use of these adhesive back sequins. Let me put them on a colored cardstock so you can see them better. These are going out. These are on the retiring list, and I reach, as you guys know, I reach for these all the time. So I'm going to just add a couple for color. I think I kind of like this color. I'll just put just a couple small ones. Like that. Maybe one more. There we go. What do you think? Because I always have to get carried away. There we go. Adhesive back sequins. Thank you for all the hearts. And please, please, please remember, this is only $12 on the discontinued list. I will take a picture of what I showed at the beginning. I'll recut some more dies, and I'll post it on Facebook, and I'll also post it at mystampingspot.com. So if you need to reference it. And this is carrying over into the new catalog. We also used Happy and Heartfelt. And remember, this ribbon's going away. So sad. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. I will see you Monday. I hope you all have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. And let me know if you have any questions. And if you don't have a demonstrator you work with and you would like a copy of the catalog and you have never ordered from me, just message me or text me your email and I will be happy to send one along. All right. Bye, you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.